What's up, world? We're back. The Super Investor Show with your host, Jordan Harry. And this week, we have a good friend of mine, although I say that about most guests, but I really mean it this time. He's a good friend of mine, someone who I've known for probably about 10 years. But most recently, we connected. And we connected because he's actually a mentor to me. Now, when we think of mentors, we usually think someone who's much older than us, someone who's already accomplished X, Y, and Z. But this young man, a few years younger than me, but not only that, as I mentioned in his bio, he is going to be the overnight success that took 10 years. So here I am introducing my good friend Nick to the world before he is the big name, Nick, the forex trader. So with that being said, please welcome up on stage aspiring trader at FTMO, Nick Bragoli-Jones.
Hey.
Hey, Captain. Now, just so everyone knows, this is your first time doing
This
something
is.
live on camera. So, number one, thank you, bro. As I know it's a big
Thank
moment.
you.
Don't
Thank you.
don't mention it. But we're good friends, so just imagine no one else is watching. It's just you and I. And like you always do when we have our one-to-ones, drop all the alpha on me, right? Because I'm someone who tries to share all the incredible information that comes to me through my network. You, like I said, about 10 years now, you've been sharing alpha with me, and it hasn't stopped. So now people are getting it directly from the source. Plus, there's a lot of stuff you talk about, especially with TA, that goes over my head. But I spent 6 months doing TA. So, Nick, I know you so well, but in a few sentences, how would you define Nick Bragoli-Jones?
Similar to my bio, introvert by day, serial investor by night. Yeah, I love trading. Always been my go-to for since I was 18, since I could invest.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like spending time with friends and family. Got a dog. Enjoy my time and just trying to live my life to the best at the minute.
And I love that, Nick, because it's such a refreshing bio compared to, and I know we talked about this offline, to the guests I've had before, right? I know you said, not that you had imposter syndrome, but like, I haven't got a bio like all these people. It's like, Nick, that's why I want you on, because whilst people like Ray from Link2 and May from Hashpack and the future guests we have coming up are exciting, who are giants in their own right, you arguably, Nick, can connect with more people because you look, speak, and live the lifestyles the average investor and trader does. So, before we get into your superpower and your weakness, what was it about trading that motivated you to start?
Ooh. Full transparency. Instagram traders, that Lambo lifestyle. No risk, no Rari. Those guys. Initially, it pulls you in Facebook ads, Instagram ads, all that jazz. But you start looking a bit deeper. It's smart. You watch Wolf of Wall Street. You watch The Big Short. All that fun stuff, and yeah, the lifestyle really pulls you in. But yeah, as you dig deeper, you learn it's a long journey, definitely.
It certainly is. And thank you for being so candid to know that that marketing worked on you. But it attracted you, but you didn't stay for that. So now I'm going to ask you a follow-up question. Why are you still trading? Because it's not fun sometimes, and it's
No,
not easy.
it's weirdly enjoyable. Become habit, definitely. You sort of wake up, check the charts, see how trades have gone. Helpful, I have an algorithm that helps me trade on the side, so it's fun. It's a weird fun. I guess it's my inner introvert trader inside me. But I just find that stuff fun.
That's beautiful. And it's hard to justify it, of course, because not everyone's going to be able to get their head around it because you're not always making money in the space. In fact,
No.
I know some of the time you spend is actually mind-numbing when it comes to really figuring out what's happened and what's going to happen. So for the
Yes.
audience who don't know, not necessarily who FTMO are, but what is a funded account? How can someone at home who's only working with £100 truly make Rari money? Because we all hear about using other people's money, and you found an interesting way to do it.
So this is the company I'm working with are FTMO, plenty out there. They provide you liquidity to trade with. You pay essentially a small fee for a chance to be able to trade bigger capital that you may not have access to.
Yeah.
Because essentially these are what these companies are for. For people that don't have Rari money to trade with, you get the opportunity to trade somebody else's money, and you get to make anything above the account value. And the company I'm working with, FTMO, a 3-stage challenge. Stage 1, the goal is to make 10% in 30 days. If you pass that, you go on to phase 2, which is 60 days, so 2 months, to make 10% again to show your consistency.
Consistency, yeah.
And then once you pass that, stage 3 is your fully funded account with a 80 to 20% split on profits above account value.
Fascinating. Now, we know there's a little bit more detail, when we talk about maximum drawdown a day, maximum drawdown completely. But just so everyone knows, if you really are interested about this, Nick, are they welcome to reach out to you?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Excellent. And
I'll
just
give
for
a
disclaimer,
unbiased view.
that I was just about to say, just as disclaimer, you don't work for FTMO in a official capacity.
No,
Don't believe
absolutely
there's
not.
an affiliate link that you have. It will purely be
Mm-mm.
Nick sharing with you free knowledge on how to get access to a fully funded account, which requires work and for you to prove yourself, because that's what they're looking for. They don't have the time or skill, these companies, but they have the money, they have the capital. They're looking for the talents like Nick who live a humble lifestyle, who can truly change their lives by having an incredible skill set. So I can't wait, Nick, for you to keep passing all these trials and for the funded accounts to get bigger and bigger so I can give you my money.
Oh, yes.
With that being said, buddy, we're now going to jump into the structured part of this show, which is asking you, number one, what's your superpower? Because we are talking about technical analysis. So talk to us about technical analysis and how you believe that is your superpower.
So it's been, I would say, 4 years of me getting into trading, I believe, 4 to 5 years. So I guess it's where everybody starts. If you're not following signals and you want to learn how to trade yourself, technical analysis seems to be the first place everybody lands. And for me, it works wonders, I suppose. It's got me to where I am without this algorithm that I use. But it works. For me, it's something I use while I'm at work, while I'm away from work and I don't have enough time, the same amount of time as somebody without a job, to get a quick, easy to read when you know what you're looking for, way to see what the market is doing.
Now, for many people, and myself included, because I spent 6 months, which might not be long enough, but I had enough wins and enough losses to realize, okay, investing long term makes sense for me emotionally. It makes sense for me financially, although I don't have as many wins. When I do win, they're marginally bigger because I'm held in that position for a long period of time. So I guess I'm being devil's advocate here, Nick. What would you say to anyone who says technical analysis doesn't work?
Give it time. Not everything they say is true. You can't just believe what everybody says. It takes time to research, for instance, what indicators work on a chart for you, what time frame that indicator best works on for you. For me, I work the 9 to 5 shift work, so sometimes I'm around at the right time, sometimes I'm not. So being able to use the correct indicators that work for my lifestyle is a godsend.
And I'm hearing a lot my and you, and bringing a lot more personal factors into TA, which some people might not be aware of, right? Because I think what you're just distinguished there is it's not for everyone. E.g., it's not for me. I'm not someone who can or wants to check in on the charts on a daily basis, let alone hourly, like you just said, timeframes. So knowing, of course, that it's near enough impossible for you to label and distinguish one group, who would you say would be an ideal trader if you had to give characteristics?
Emotional control, number one.
Okay.
Patience, somebody with a lot of patience.
Okay.
Perseverance, definitely, because it takes a lot of testing and researching to find a strategy and indicators and a lifestyle to build your trading around.
It really does. And I want to get at least one more golden nugget from you, which is you talk about research and building this lifestyle around your trading. Of course, you started by being pulled in by the Instagram traders, but who now do you look up to in the trading world where you get, whether that's certain setups or that's a community you're part of, that anyone starting out right now should begin with?
A few. It's a guy called Johnny Godfrey on Instagram.
Cool.
Honest, transparent guy. Austin Silver.
Yes.
Very good.
He's still going because
And
I remember
Jace,
watching him with you.
he is, yes. And Jace Brand. He helped me with his algorithms and also helped me previously with Austin Silver. So
Incredible. Because most people expect for you, maybe even now, to tell us exactly what to look for, right? And what indicator to put on the charts. But what I like what you've just done there, Nick, is you told us where to do our research. And ultimately, this is what this show's about, is it's not just about do your own research. It's bringing people on who either you can go follow directly to do your own research, or as you've done, hey, the stuff I'm telling you or the success I've had, it comes from people above me. Go check out their work. And
absolutely.
knowing who you are, Nick, who's an introvert, that may just be an introvert right now who will watch Austin and be like, yo, yeah, I can relate with Austin. Would you say being able to relate to a virtual mentor is an important factor?
Yeah, absolutely. It only goes so far. So we can't focus on that solely, but absolutely being relatable is good, and it's good for their side in content creation.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Like finds like. And that's why I pride myself on being an ethnic minority, mixed race, black investor, whatever you want to call it, but an ethnic minority in the financial world, talking about things which can be very dry, difficult to understand. But I try my hardest to put it across simply. And I think, Nick, you'll be doing just the same. Not that you're an ethnic minority, but more so you are a minority, which is you're an introvert. Because at the end of the day, all we see is extroverts on camera. But we forget there's actually thousands, if not millions, of people who follow these extroverts who are probably the majority. So it's refreshing to have you on. And I hope that you come on more often, Nick.
Definitely.
Because you have an invite and a space here. Now, Nick, talking about introversion, we've talked about your superpower. What is your weakness when it comes to investing and trading?
Confidence. More importantly, self-confidence. even just doing this is a lot, but I'm pushing myself with help from the likes of you in reverse mentor way. It helped me to push myself out of my comfort zone. It plays along with technical analysis, trading in general, being aware of your emotions and how that can affect not only your trading but your whole day.
Yeah.
But it definitely all starts within, as we've had conversations offline. Definitely all starts within.
And what are you at the moment? Because I know the answer already, but I'm going to put it out at you. What at the moment are you consuming that you're finding is helping with your self-confidence?
I've done some meditating. I've done an audit on my social media to ensure that I'm consuming good content only. But yeah, a lot of reflection, meditating to, like I said, reflect and identify my emotions and how I'm feeling and how that will affect me, not only now but in the future. Am I missing anything? I don't know.
I don't think you are. I don't think you are. Because at the end of the day, it's what's working for you right now. And although, we've shared many things offline, what comes in the real moment, because I'm sure when you get off, you're like, I should have said it. But what's nice is this is what's front of mind now. And for many people, their confidence, at least from my experience, is tied usually to something else, whether that be an influencer, whether that be to a project. And some would say that confidence is a really vulnerable factor in trading and investing because it fluctuates. So, do you feel, Nick, that once your self confidence improves, that you'll become a better trader?
I think I'll be more contempt with my trading. I'll be, as we said offline, I'll be happy to let winners run. I'll be more happy to let losers cut my losses.
Yeah.
But not sure it'll make me a better trader. It will make me more consistent, which I guess makes me a better trader, actually.
I like how we got to the answer in the end.
Yeah.
A
You are
different
right.
one than what you started with. But it's good to really understand that process because as much as we want to ignore confidence when it comes to investing and trading, we understand that there'll be moments where maybe it's not confidence, maybe it's faith, maybe it's belief in ourselves and the decisions that we do and don't make, because arguably decisions we don't make are just as important as the ones that we do.
Absolutely.
Do you recall of a scenario where your self-confidence overwhelmed your strategy?
Um,
Does it happen daily?
Not as often as it did, I don't think.
Good.
Mostly because I've been more self-aware recently, and with the aid of an algorithm, I've been taking more of a backseat with manually trading. It takes the emotion out of it, and it helps you realize that really the market doesn't care about you. So why should you care about it?
I feel not everyone's heard that before, and if they have, everyone has kind of different interpretations of it. All right. So when you say the market doesn't care about you, what do you understand that?
Um, I'm just a small player in a very big game. If a trade goes south and I lose, it's not because the market saw me and said, "You're losing today." I'm a small piece in a big puzzle, so definitely don't take it personal.
I wish you would have told me that, man, when we were in 6 months in. And maybe because you and I both subscribe to this, because here's a little anecdotal piece. when me and Nick were trading all those many moons ago, 2 years ago, nearly 3, I remember, I think I even told you this and you believe me, so you really shouldn't have, which was when you place your entry or exit on Binance or whatever broker or exchange you do, the market makers can see your take profits and your stop losses. Even I can't even get it out now. And that the market maker, this mysterious man in the shadows, would purposely hit our stop losses because they could see it and it's all public and it's all out there. Do you still believe that, Nick?
No, not quite to that
Exactly,
extent.
not quite to that extent.
No.
So talk to me a little bit more, because there is an element of truth to that. What does that whole, they can see our take profits and stop losses, and how does that impact the actual market?
I'm under the impression that banks trade markets via algorithms. So there's not one person sitting at a desk going, Jordan from England has placed a stop loss here. Not today, Jordan. The word is thrown around a lot in the trading world, but liquidity is definitely real, I think. So it's not necessarily individual stop losses in an area. It's more, this area is a collection of hundreds of thousands of stop losses, which essentially is liquidity for the market.
Fascinating. It really is. And, I'm sure we'll have you on again to talk a little bit more about algorithmic trading, especially as I can't say it. So we'll stick with algo trading and how that works. Because like you said, not only does it remove your emotions, but it also, you're now joining the big boys and girls who are using things like Bloomberg Terminal, as we talked about. And, when we actually understand who are the real big boys and girls in this game, you start to realize that you said it's not an individual person sat there doing these trades. They're actually investing in computers, algorithmic bots to execute and move the market. So when you say the market doesn't care about us, it's literally, they don't see human beings. They just see buy orders, sell orders, the order book's all there. In fact, all of us can see the order book when we go on the exchange. The difference is, again, it doesn't mean anything to us. It definitely doesn't mean anything to the bots. So that self-confidence, coming back to that, when do you think your self-confidence really took a knock? Like, was there one moment in trading or investing where ultimately you were like, "Ooh, I don't think I'm cut out for this"?
I don't think there was one moment. I think looking back now, it was just a build-up. I'd never really taken notice to, I guess, my own emotions and how I'm feeling, how it affects everything you do. And trading just happened in my life to be one of those things.
Yeah.
So I think once I took the leap, made some changes, again, looked inwards before I looked outwards, I definitely realize now that it had been a build-up for years. And all it took was, 20 minutes a day, sort myself out. And I think it's made changes. I definitely think it's positively impacted my life and trading.
Oh, I'm glad that I'm not glad that, of course, you've gone through what you've gone through, but at the same time, all of us are going to experience moments where our self-confidence is not. And if you aren't a veteran, understanding how to come out, I generally believe that's when depression sets in. And I'm not a clinical psychologist, and I definitely am not well versed on depression. But the best way I can understand it, having not gone through it, is we all experience depression, but many of us come out of it. And some of us just don't. Some of us spend extended periods of time there. And so I'm glad that you've come out of it whether you coin it depression or just a moment where your self-confidence took a knock, because we've all been there, and that you're now actively doing something about it. And you and I had this conversation about seeing therapy, right? Now, me and my partner, we go through therapy, and that's not because we've got anything wrong, but that's what people jump to. And you can only imagine if you say you go to therapy to deal with your mental. Again, people assume you've gone through something. But what I love the perspective of is prevention rather than cure.
Absolutely.
You'll take your car to go get serviced MOT, and that's a legal requirement here in the UK. But it's also the right thing to do to make sure everything's operating okay. So I see therapy as almost something that's essential. However you seek that therapy.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's
And
nice to see
for me, being the introvert I am,
yeah.
I didn't have friends. I didn't have a circle to turn to. So for me, my therapy at the minute is ensuring I have my circle. I have people I can rely on, talk to. If I can work with that for now, then I don't see there's any point in me seeing professionals just yet. But that's just me for now. But
but that's fine, because like and I guess I'll make it my view is really clear. It's like, therapy doesn't fit one box. You said meditation.
absolutely.
Oh, what type of meditation? And there'll be critics. You say, oh, well, that's not meditation. But ultimately, sitting still and just letting your thoughts pass, or breathing, being amongst yourself, however you want to coin it. And same with therapy. For me, this is therapy. Right? I come on every Monday. I speak to people above whatever you want to measure, above on my level or below me, right? Whatever we want to measure that on. And what's really important for all of us to know, at least for me, is I learn from every interaction. And what's therapeutic is I come on here and I ask questions because I generally don't know. And in the process, someone watching may as well not know, but is not an extrovert like me, who will come out and not be afraid to look stupid and ask that question. So thank you, Nick, for sharing what you do to make sure that you're okay. And I'm glad that you're building that friend group, and you're realizing who your circle is, and you're finding that the small things in our real world truly do impact a profession such as trading. So I asked this question to all our guests, and I didn't warn you, but if there's one last thing you want everyone watching now and in the future to remember, what would that be, Nick?
I don't know. I feel like I already said it. Look within first before looking outwards. Ask yourself the question.
Excellent. Thank you for that, buddy. I appreciate that. Well, I definitely will be looking inwards for this week, as you've set my week off right. Although it's late here in the UK, so I'm going to go sleep and then start my week off right. But with that being said, I know for a fact you need to make sure your algo bot is working. Do not interrupt it, Nick. And I'm positive that you've made someone watching right now 1% better, whether they're an introvert, extrovert, investor, trader. I think this episode, there's something for everyone to take away. So thank you for your time, bro. And we'll see you soon.
Appreciate it.
Don't mention it, bud. Don't mention it. And with that being said, everyone, that is today's show with our first technical analysis trader. I'm sure we'll have more traders on. I don't want to cause like a divide, like I'm in the investor group and traders are over here. But I think it's really important that we as investors, traders, people who are looking to make a financial gain in whatever market, crypto, stocks, real estate, precious metals, understand there's a big picture here. There's more than one way to get to our end goal, making more money. But as we can see, it's the person that we become during that journey. And people like Nick inspire me because why? Because he's ahead of his time. He's someone who does not have the stereotypical traits of a trader that we see online, but he's the silent majority. So I hope that's been refreshing for you all. And we have some extremely exciting guests in the XRP community coming up in the next coming weeks. So be sure to stick in and lock in with us here at Super Investor Show. If you want a certain guest to come on, whether that be from a certain background or you even know the person, be sure to tag me, let me know, or even let us know in the comments below. As always, I'll be here every single Monday, time depending, based on the guests that we have, because we want to make sure we get the very best in front of you. So with that being said, have a lovely week with your families, and we'll see you in the next episode. Ciao for now.